It is 7 o'clock on Tuesday, September 7th, and we'll call this meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. A roll call, please.
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Bospis-Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Collins.
Here.
Commissioner Miller.
Here.
Commissioner Talentino. Commissioner Twardy.
Here.
Commissioner Talentino had called and said he may or may not make it, so I guess I'm taking this as a not. So would somebody like to make a motion to excuse him?
I'll make that motion.
Support. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
He is excused. If everybody could please, that can stand, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, thank you very much. Item number 4 is mayor comments and general announcements, and this evening I have none. I thought I'd save you the agony. So we'll move right into B, which is proclamations and recognitions. And you'll see in your packet that we do have a proclamation for, I think I'll just read the top here. So we do have a proclamation that's in recognition of Hospice of the EUP on their 40th anniversary and appreciation to Hospice of the EUP staff members and volunteers. They're having a dinner this Saturday night, and we'll be presenting this proclamation to them along with the county and whatever proclamations they have. So just wanted to provide that for everybody's review. And moving into C, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments this evening on any of our scheduled agenda items? You will have time to speak at the end of the meeting in our public comment time. But anybody that would like to speak to any of our agenda items? All right, seeing none, we'll move into D, which is the consent agenda. Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of August 16th, 2021. Item 2, acceptance of the Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes of June 8th, 2021. Item 3, acceptance of the firefighters, fire captain unit public employee healthcare investment fiduciary board meeting minutes of August 25th, 2020. Item 4 is acceptance of the Police Command Unit Public Employees Healthcare Investment Fiduciary Board meeting minutes of May 11th, 2020. Item 5 is acceptance of the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of July 21, 2021. Item 6, acceptance of the Sault Ste. Marie Housing Commission meeting minutes of July 15th, 2021. Item 7 is appointment of Jacob Brown to the Economic Development Corporation for a term to expire June 1, 2027. Item 8 is appointment of Josh Billington to the Economic Development Corporation to fill the balance of a term to expire June 1, 2026. Item 9 is renewal of a one-year agreement for the Kemp Marina operations. Item 10 is schedule a public hearing to confirm an amendment to Special Assessment Roll SW-03-18. And item 11 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager. Would any commissioner like any of the items removed for individual consideration, or would you like any of them further explained this evening? Commissioner Twardy.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? A roll call vote, please.
Mayor Gary.
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis-Rath.
Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Twardy.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Moving into E, special orders of business. City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For commission consideration tonight is a request to schedule a second reading
of the proposed ordinance related to parking certain vehicle types on the street sidewalks, or on the, excuse me, I am off. Second reading, schedule a second reading of the proposed ordinance related to the parking certain types of vehicles on the side of the street, not sidewalk. Thank you. Basically, what we ran into, staff and I have been taking complaints about RVs, boat trailers, whether they're with a boat or not a boat, kind of parking along the street or in parking stalls. The current ordinance has a process in place that is kind of cumbersome to track. It requires 72-hour, a resident has 72 hours to park along the street, but it's throughout the period of a year. So maybe they do it a little bit in November, maybe do a little bit in spring, maybe more in the summer. We really don't have a mechanism to track it. So what we're looking to do is shorten up the process by lowering the time allowed to park on street, as well as designating enforcement responsibilities to our code enforcement officer. Chief Beerling and Community Development Director Freeman both worked on this ordinance. We feel we're comfortable with where it's at right now, so we would recommend establishing the second reading for the next commission meeting.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments on this item? Commissioner Twardy.
Yeah, thank you. So when you talk about commercial vehicles and trailers, does that take into account business personal trailers, as in like landscaping companies or contractors that have been hired to work on people's homes?
We did take that into consideration. We would assume those types of vehicles aren't there longer than 48 hours. And if they are there longer than 48 hours, did we retain a permit process in there too to extend it out a little bit? Yes. So there is a process to allow that type of activity.
Okay.
So if you are having home repairs, it's gonna take a week. We do have a permit process to allow that to happen a little
Okay.
longer.
Be nice to get a little bit of information on this out to the community, out to the public, so
Yep.
that there's no confusion.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Once, if the commission does adopt it next meeting, we'll put some information out.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, Commissioner. Commissioner Bauer?
Yeah, just for the, general, public knowledge, what is the penalty for violation of that ordinance?
I
The stare down.
believe. Let me pull it up real quick here. I don't recall off the top of my head. We'll follow up with you and the public on what the fee is, because I can't find it in the ordinance in front of me.
I couldn't find it either, that's why I'm asking, I think it should probably be there.
And I'm assuming this is just an amendment to that certain particular piece of ordinance, so I'm sure it's in the remaining
Gotcha.
piece of ordinance, but we just took out that one segment that we're changing. So can you guys look while we're doing this a little bit? Do you have any idea?
I think there are fees, there are not fee schedules already. It's $10 or $50.
I'm glad you said that, because I have the fee schedule right here.
Stump the city manager.
We have guests here and everything. You guys are making
It's our first live show.
making me looking bad here.
Sorry.
It's like I just started or something.
It looks to me like it just follows the standard traffic violation.
So it's 25.
Yeah. Oops, treasures, I want, gosh darn it. Please. Yeah, $10, 10 and 20 to $5. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Good question. Anybody else want to take a whack at it?
That's if it's paid on time.
All right, Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make the motion?
Yes, so moved that, the first reading of the ordinance to amend chapter 24, article 3, section 24 through 36, and section 24 through 55, and we, schedule a second reading for the September 20th city commission meeting. There you go.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspas Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarty,
Yes.
Mayor Gary.
Yes, motion passed unanimously.
I
Thank
have
you very
another
much.
question, just to.
Sure.
You know, because I haven't
Yep.
been back for all that long. Can they hear me when my mic isn't on? Because my mic was not on when I made that motion. I know they can hear me.
No, so
But I
Bonnie's
mean,
screaming in
TV
the back
can't
right
hear ya.
now. You have to remember to turn on your mic, because then
Yeah,
you're
right.
not being picked up on the broadcast and the
Yeah.
recordings.
For the record, I moved in favor of the city manager's recommendation.
Thank you, Commissioner Bauer. Hopefully they heard the question.
I don't know if they did or not. We'll have to go back on
All right.
YouTube. and check that
No,
out.
that's fine. All right, moving on to item F, which is communications. City Manager Chapman with red cheeks.
Oh, goodness. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple introductions tonight. Tonight, starting off with us is our new, or not new, but our city attorney, Kevin Kilby and Stacy Belisle. If you guys want to come up. The commission may recall that after the previous city attorney retired, sorry, Bonnie, we don't have a PowerPoint. The former city attorney retired. We were kind of in limbo land. It was COVID. We didn't know quite what to do. So I reached out to Kevin, who was my municipal attorney when I was ambassador, the city manager down there. And he was gracious enough to lend us the support. Since that time, Kevin and Stacy has been advising us on all of our different legal matters. Kevin's general counsel right now. Stacy is our labor attorney. So she deals with all things unions, personnel. Kevin deals with all things, everything else. So, I've been working with Kevin and Stacy since I've been in Michigan, so I started in 2015 back in Vassar. I find the two of them incredibly resourceful and helpful in everything we do. I don't want to say anything dramatic, like I trust them with my life, but I trust them with my contract, and that's pretty damn close. So, without further ado, I'll turn it over to Kevin. They can talk about the firm a little bit, and then just give a general introduction, so.
Hello, my name's Kevin Kilby. I'm with the law firm McGraw-Morris. I'm a partner in the firm. We have two locations. One's in Grand Rapids, and our main office is in Troy, Michigan. The firm's comprised currently of 11 attorneys and 4 support staff, and we're all kind of specialized. As the city manager mentioned, I do all the general municipal, plus I do water, wastewater, and downtown development authorities and authorities in general. That's really my forte. I don't deal with labor, I don't deal with police civil liability. We have other people in the office that specialize in that. And your file, if you have one with regard to those matters, get turned over to those attorneys. But I oversee the account. Any questions, they go to me. We do use one source contact, which means I only really take orders from the mayor and or the city manager, depending. That way, it's more of a billing control for the city. We don't want 10 different departments calling us, and then you get a large bill saying, well, how come this bill's so big? It just makes it much easier. So I'll take questions regarding general municipal real quick if anybody has any. No, it's actually nice to be here in person. Yeah, I know. We've been dealing everything over the email and everything else, so it was nice to actually get an opportunity to come up and meet the council.
I just wanted the commission to know too that we actually have an attorney, and I'm not just making this up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, trust me, the attorney reviewed it, you know.
So my personal background as a police officer, I worked on ambulance service. I was a city administrator, and now I'm a municipal attorney. That's all I do is municipal law. So, Stacy.
Hi, good evening. I'm Stacy Belisle. I do labor and employment work. Primarily, that's 95% of what I do. Mostly municipal as well, meaning I do labor negotiations, contract, collective bargaining agreements. I consult with clients when they have to make a decision as to how to interpret the collective bargaining agreement as to discipline, termination of employment. We do arbitrations, grievance responses, and just guide the clients through the process and how an arbitration might come out, you know, weighing our benefits and risks and how the contract language will be interpreted. So I handle all of that. I also do employment litigation, so I'm defending municipalities in civil rights claims, wrongful discharge, ADA claims, Americans with Disabilities Act, Whistleblowers Protection Act claims. And then I also provide direct advice to municipal clients, such as this one, regarding how those claims might play out for non-unionized employees if you're making a termination or discipline decision. Just asking the questions as to how I think it might turn out. And because we do the litigation and the direct contact and representation, we have all that litigation experience behind us so that we can see the train coming down the tracks, so to speak. So if I see a bad situation brewing, I can advise as to how to do it better, how to do it differently, how to do it correctly, so that at least you have a very defensible position in the unlikely or unfortunate event that you end up in litigation. So, and this also covers unemployment claims. The only thing I really don't handle is workers' compensation. That's very specialized. But EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission responses, Department of Civil Rights responses, anything like that. That's all me. So, and again, like Kevin, if any of you have questions, I'm happy to address those for you. But it's great to meet you. Thank you for having us tonight.
And they're a full-service firm too, so we've even brought Stacy on board via Zoom to do supervisor training, just about, you know, hazards of the workplace and what they need to know as a supervisor too. And that was very well received, so, I mean, we utilize their full services in our operations now, so.
Thank you for reminding me of that. We also do a great deal of training for municipal organizations, the clerk's organization, township managers, insurance carriers, you name it. I've spoke police chiefs. We speak all over the place. So if there's ever a need for a reminder as to what the law is and how to apply it, we're here for that too.
Well, we appreciate both of you being here, and this is really new for us. We've had an in-house, as you know, an in-house attorney forever, and so this is a transition for the commission and for the administration, and so far so good, and it's good to have the resources that you have available, and so we appreciate you coming up, Kevin and Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Alrighty.
Under F, Communications, item 2, City Manager.
All right, got another introduction here. Come on up, Mr. Perrin. Mr. Perrin. So as the commission is aware, recently Dan Wires has announced his retirement, and the Streets Department foreman has stepped out of the organization. So we did a little bit of reorging again. Streets and Parks now fall under a DPS position. With Mr. Wires retiring, we went out, had a recruitment. Mr. Perrin kind of came to the top of our list through our recruitment. He is currently our engineering staff person right now, so he's got a lot of engineering experience, a lot of experience with the organization and what's happening at the street department, the parks department. So we felt that he was a great fit for us, and he's doing great so far. It's only been a week. His black eye is healing up pretty good there, but he's doing fantastic. He's a quick learn and a good study. So for the commission's introduction, our new DPS director, Tyler Perron.
Hi, everybody. Great to see you all again. Look forward to this next chapter here at the city. Stepping in and stepping up and moving forward.
Is that effective immediately, or
Yes, effective last Monday. Yep.
that's why the black eye then?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I have some tough for the guys going into the garage first day.
Good thing our attorneys are here.
All a joke, all a joke.
Oh, 3-year-old with a golf ball.
Ah, nice.
I saved the China hutch, so it was a good day.
You should see that 3-year-old.
Yeah.
He's got an arm.
Go with the coworker story.
All right,
Thank you for your service in engineering, and congratulations. You'll do a good job, yep.
thank you, sir.
All right, moving along, under G, business items, number 1, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to appoint 2 students to our youth in government positions. Tonight, we have with us Samantha Hale and Madison Monday. If you guys want to come on up. Liam, if you want to come up as well. The commission will recall that Liam gave us a presentation a couple months ago, maybe back in March, about his program, Youth in Government. That's Youth in Government, right? No, what is it?
Government for tomorrow.
Government for Tomorrow, even better. I like that name better. For Government for Tomorrow, the commission had an interest in selecting some students to sit on some of our community service boards. Liam led the process. He worked with the school district. They had a recruitment process. They did some interviews, and we've got the cream of the crop before us. So tonight, we have two motions. The first one's a motion to appoint Samantha Hale to the DDA board, and the second motion is to appoint Madison Monday to the Community Services Board. These terms are set to expire at the end of the school year. They are not voting members of the boards. They are just there in advisory capacity, as well as a learning role so that they can learn more about youth and government, or more about government opportunities. And I can send them off to their MPA program, and they can be city managers when they grow up. So.
Or council.
More importantly.
Microphone on for that one?
It is.
Commissioner Tuarty.
Yeah, just a couple of questions. Well, first of all, Liam, I expected you to be way older.
I get that sometimes, yeah.
Are you in college, or are you at Sioux High, or?
So I'm a 16-year-old Charlevoix High School sophomore.
I am really
Yes.
impressed.
Well, thank
So,
you. Thank you
yeah.
very much.
So I've been on this commission for 8 years now, and I think we've been talking about doing some sort of program like this for 7 years, and it's not taken effect yet. So I'm really impressed. I'm excited to have them involved, and yeah, I think we want to groom future leaders. So, and the best way to get kids involved is get them involved in their high school days, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
absolutely. Our program works with a lot of different cities, and we interview a lot of different students. And our main criteria as to picking who's going, or recommending who's going to fill these positions, is the drive to be involved. And Madison and Samantha, they just exemplified that. So we're really, really proud of these recommendations. And I'm glad to see that this program is taking effect. And I'm glad that we can help, yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Very
yeah.
impressive. I'm excited to have these girls come on board.
So would Samantha and Madison like to tell us a little bit about themselves? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, my name's Madison Mundy. I go to Sioux High. I'm a sophomore, and I've just kind of always wanted to be like a part of something bigger than myself, and just like a part of my community. And like I've never had the opportunity until now, and I'm just excited to see where it takes me and Samantha and everyone else. My name is Samantha. I'm a junior at Surrey High School. I'm 17 years old. And again, I'm really excited to work with Madison as well and be a part of this. At the end of this, I really hope to start up a nonprofit. That's something I really want to do for like homeless teens and veterans that struggle with mental illness and help prevent that. So I think that would be really cool. And this is just a wonderful starting point for that. Thank you.
Awesome, great. Commissioners, anybody have any questions or comments? Do we have to make two motions or one? I'm assuming it's going to be a voice vote?
You do two motions,
Or,
and let's vote.
Okay. Commissioner Collins? Whoever doesn't look ready.
Motion to appoint Samantha Hale to the DDA board for a term set to expire at the end of the school year.
Support.
Been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Commissioner Collins?
Motion to appoint Madison Monday to the Community Services Board for a term set to expire at the end of the school year.
Support.
Been moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Congratulations, and thank you for serving. It's that easy. All right, so under G, business items number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request to enter into an agreement and establish a budget related to necessary electrical repair work for a 25th Street lift station. This particular item has two motions, and a motion to approve the emergency repairs and award the bid to Crane Engineering, and a motion to establish a budget for the project in the amount of $21,300. This project is coming to you as an emergency. The 25th Street lift station currently is and has been experiencing a great deal of electrical problems, and it's on the fritz, and it's about to break, and it's about to be really bad. So our new wastewater treatment supervisor came on board. He's been hammering out a bunch of other projects here. This is probably one of our last emergency projects we feel that we have going on here, knock on wood. But we want to make sure that we get this one done in a timely fashion as well before any more damage or any potential damage happens. So 2 motions, motion to approve the emergency repair and award the bid to Crane Engineering, and a motion to establish the budget.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments for City Manager, or validating the truth here from?
I didn't hear a flushing.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so any questions or comments? Commissioner Bospis-Rath, would you like to take the short 2
Short 2.
motions?
Absolutely. Motion to approve the emergency repairs and award bid to Crane Engineering.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Yes, Commissioner Collins.
I just think it's important to note that the funding for this project is actually coming from the reserves that are in the sewer and equipment reserves from other projects. And even after we use this money, we're still gonna have $441,400 left in that reserve, meaning it doesn't affect the general fund.
Great point.
Correct.
Any other? A roll call, please.
Commissioner Bospis-Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarte,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Collins.
You want me to read the next motion? Yep. Motion to establish the budget for the project in the amount of $21,300.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. Commissioner Bospis-Rath, I'm sorry.
Already read it.
You know,
Slipping.
it's fine, it's fine.
I really think her feelings were hurt.
I'm kind of upset about this. Support. Okay. Motion to establish a budget for this project in the amount of $21,300 with the funding from sewer equipment reserve.
Support.
Very nicely done motion. It has been supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuarte,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis-Rath.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. G, business items number 3, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request to purchase a hydraulic valve exerciser, which is a fantastic new piece of equipment for our water department. This is a capital purchase that was budgeted during the last budget process. The bids came in at $29,900, which is under what we originally budgeted for. The purpose of this machine is to go out and exercise all of the shut-off valves in front of all the residential, commercial, and industrial structures. This is something that will assist us in turning those valves every so often. It's sophisticated enough that it's going to minimize any breaks of those valves. The valves that we have throughout the city, a lot of them haven't been turned in a very long time. So there's a very high likelihood of those valves breaking if we go out and start hand cranking on them. If we are to break those valves, we then have to dig them up, replace them, and it's more expensive. So with this piece of equipment, we'll be able to turn the valves in a manner that is more likely to save the valves without having to do any major repairs. So we did go out to an RFP for it. Again, the project was budgeted as well in the amount of $32,000. This project's coming under at $29,900. We look for a motion to award the bid for purchase of the hydraulic valve exerciser for the amount of $29,900.
Thank you, City Manager. Somebody's got to have a question about this one. This almost sounded suspicious. I did watch the video. It's pretty amazing, actually. Anybody have any questions on this one? Commissioner Miller, would you like to make the motion?
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion to award the bid for purchase of a hydraulic valve exerciser to Lewis Municipal Sales for the amount of $29,900.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspis Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Item 4 under business items. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request to award an agreement or award the bid to remove the blue building near the city property by the Seafree Building to the bidder, the low bidder, Bay Area Demolition, for the amount not to exceed $24,960. As the commission is aware, the blue building in front of the Seafree Center is scheduled to come down with the update to that area as well as the Carbide dock. This project is funded through some of the grants received through the state of Michigan. We put out a bid, and I believe we received 4 or 5 of them back, the lowest being the bid that we are recommending for Bay Area Demolition. So we would look for a motion to award the bid for building removal to the low bidder, Bay Area Demolition, for an amount not to exceed $24,960.
Where is Commissioner Talentino, huh? Darn. Commissioner Tuorty, did you have a question or
Well,
comment?
we should scare him and tell him it didn't pass. No, I will make this motion. Tim has been, I feel like this is his nemesis. He wants this building gone so bad, so this is very exciting, and the bid came in half of what we expected. So motion to award the bid for building removal to low bidder, Bay Area Demolition, a Michigan firm, for an amount not to exceed $24,960.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? A roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Tuorty,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspis Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Building to be removed in October. Item 5 under business items.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last but not least, for the commission consideration tonight is an update to the user fee schedule for the water department. This particular request is coming on the heels of our new water director, kind of looking at the operations and analyzing where we have some room for improvement. So he did take the opportunity to update some of our fee schedules based on what his experience is, as well as what the costs actually are for us to provide certain services. So presented for you are the original water user fees to be compared to the proposed water fees. There are a series of changes in there. If you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them, but we would look for a motion to accept the updated user fee schedule for the water department as presented, effective immediately.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions or comments for the City Manager? Commissioner Bauer, would you like to make the motion?
Yes, I would. A lot of interesting stuff here. But I do move to accept the updated user fee schedule for the water department as presented, effective immediately.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspis Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Tuorty.
Yes.
Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. That appears to be the end of the business items, and under H, City Manager announcements and updates, there seems to be a blank spot.
I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
All right. Moving on to I, matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any presentation to the commission or to the public? Angie, if you could please state your name and...
I'm Angie MacArthur. I'm the superintendent of the Eastern Upper Peninsula Intermediate School District. I've met most of you. Good to see you again in person this time. Joanne Galloway spoke to you last month regarding the EUP Connect Collaborative. And we hope to have our application in to you within this week yet. But I wanted to give you an update on where we stand on this so far. If you don't know what that is, over the last several years, the EUP ISD, along with the EUP Regional Planning Development Commission, have really worked to broaden access to internet for all of our citizens in the Eastern UP. Prior to me coming to the ISD, this was something that the ISD board was looking to do as a project itself. With the funding of the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund auction, there's $37 million coming into the Eastern UP alone that's going to be 1,500 miles of fiber built. Because of the work that our region has done, we're second on the list, and that work will start in our region next summer. What we are doing is going to every school district in the EUP, townships, cities, villages, and counties, and asking that those entities designate 3% of the federal funds they're receiving through either ESSER or ARPA. In your case, it would be ARPA. And we want to collaborate and make access to internet at every 911 address in the Eastern UP a reality. The city of Sault Ste. Marie proper is very lucky because the majority of the citizens in this area have pretty good service. But it doesn't mean that it's affordable. It doesn't mean it's accessible to all. So as of right now, we have 12 school districts that have signed on. We have 15 townships. By the end of this week, I hope to have a few more added on. But we're sitting at about $600,000 of investment. What we're going to come to you with an ask is for $42,000. So I just wanted to let you guys know where we stood, because I know Joanne was here. I'm really excited. This is something that we've been working on for a long, long time. And I'm hopeful that in 3 years, we'll be able to say, you know what, we did it. And when we closed for COVID and 10% of our students had zero access, and about 30 had inadequate access, trying to do your homework on a phone, or having 4 kids and trying to do all of their work and your work, it's just untenable. And we should have access as others in the state do. So I just wanted to update the commission and share that information because it's super exciting. So.
Thank you, Angie. We appreciate that. It's very exciting. Anybody have any questions? Sounds like a great project.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks. Anybody else in the public? All right, moving on to J, matters presented by the City Commission. City Commissioners, Commissioner Twardy.
Yep, today is Tuesday, September 7th. That means it is the first day back to school. And I always like to say, like I do every single year, please watch out for the students who are trying to get to school safely. Please drive slowly and make sure that you stop and let children cross when they are in the crosswalk because they have a priority and they should deserve to get to school safe. So thank you very much.
Great comments, and it's a good reminder because I go through that crosswalk often. When the crossing guard is in the crosswalk, none of the lanes may go. So if that person is in the intersection, you do not go. Yeah. Any other reminders? Commissioner Miller.
I just have a question, Your Honor. I was wondering if we could maybe get an update on what's going on with the concession stand at Fuller Stadium. I know the hockey team's got some challenges, some COVID challenges they still have to get over. But as far as I know, that concession stand is not ready to get open or be open when the season starts. Do you know where we are on that, Mr. Chapman?
City Manager.
So there are some small, minor cosmetic things that we have to take care of. There was a pipe that burst, I believe, last spring. It did cause some damage. There's some tiles that need to replace, and maybe some minor repairs. I know the crews are shifting to the Polar operations today-ish, maybe early this week. So that's the focus up there, is getting the Polar ready to go. Anything outside of those minor repairs, we don't currently have a budget for. Anything bigger, such as the hood, is coming up short in terms of funding. The city had about $30,000, $35,000 budgeted for the hood to be replaced. The cost to install the hood that was purchased by the Eagles, the necessary reconstruction of that space and the alterations that are necessary to the building totals about $65,000. So there's quite a bit of budget shortfall in that project. We've been working with different contractors, trying to find different options, looking at different hoods, a lot of different things, but it just doesn't have the steam or the ability to get done for what we currently have budgeted at this time. So we're still looking at different options. The other amenities within the Polar will be ready for the start of their season, which I believe has now been moved to the end of the month. They were supposed to start mid-month, but they had their first home game was scheduled against a Canadian team. And because of COVID, the Canadian teams can't cross the border. The Americans can cross over there. So those games had been removed or shifted. So their official starting home games are now at the end of the month. So we will have the ice, we will have the minor repairs done, and the building will be up and usable for their operations.
Thank you.
And again, welcome to the department, Tyler.
Boy, I should softball that one to you, eh? Let's see how well he's been paying attention.
I was gonna ask him that question.
Somebody with some engineering background, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Commissioner. Anybody else? Commissioner Torrey.
Move to adjourn.
Support.
Been moved